Hello and welcome to part 4 of building an insane asylum roller coaster using Planet Coaster. And first I should point out by saying I'm very sorry that it's been a bit hectic over where I am at the moment. I have other stuff to do that I cannot be making my Planet Coaster videos as much as I would like, and that is a great shame. Because I really enjoy making this. It's not as if I don't enjoy this. It's that I have a lot of other stuff to do, and one of them includes making a book cover for a piece of illustration work that I have to do. So that's my excuse is over, and I will continue on with the series as much as I can, and I will continue building as much Planet Coaster as I can in the meantime. Because at the moment I've moved on to building the 80s section of the building, which you don't see in this part, but I am working on it. It's just that it's taking a lot more time to upload, mainly because the videos are taking a longer to make, because I'm having problems with the program Adobe, and I'm having problems. There is a heat wave in Mannheim at the moment, and my computer, it's not good for my computer, and it sort of runs slowly and choppy, and I can't even watch videos sometimes because it is so hot at the moment. I have air conditioning and everything, and it's still not very good for my computer. So what has happened in this episode and what's happening right now? Well, what I did at the very beginning of this episode that you may not have seen, I have decided that the central tower in the building was too big, didn't make a lot of sense, it looked like a witch's hat, too much. So I decided to make it a bit smaller, and because of this technique that I'm using, this copy and control D technique, which I will make a tutorial on very soon, as soon as I get some extra time, it was much easier than recreating it from scratch, and I'm very happy with how it turned out in the end. What else am I doing? Well, I'm still creating the base, and you know, in the intro video that you see, that the facade of the building isn't quite 100% finished. I decided to make the intro as quickly as I could, so you guys could get on and see these episodes. There is a lot of stuff I can still add to it, and I've decided that, like with most of my builds, I come back at the end and add some extra bit of depth of shading, extra depth of detail at the very end, because it's easier once everything is completed to come back and take a look and see what I have been doing. And what else did you see in this episode? Well, I continue building the facade for this hospital, and what I did was create some extra wings at the right and the left of the building that are more or less continuing the same basic design. And what I had to do yesterday, because I haven't been able to play it today, but yesterday I was struggling, having a lot of fun, I must say. It was a lot of fun, but I was spending a lot of time doing not very much, which was the interior. Making sure that everywhere worked and looked good was quite difficult, because I had already started from the outside and I didn't really think much about the inside. So I decided to put a toilet in, and I decided to make some extra rooms, and I was just about to start making some beds for the hospital, some sort of, you know, out of these wooden planks, out of these small ones, but alas, I ran out of space. So I had to stop, and I thought, well, I have to continue making some videos, get rid of some old footage and put them in, and so I can continue recording. Because, believe it or not, I have been using a lot of my space recording videos, and I have to get back with the program and continue making them, because what I usually do is I make a huge amount of footage, and I then decide some things I want to edit out or put in, etc, and then I make the videos from that. So I've got a lot of videos, so don't worry, there's videos coming. It's just that I haven't had a lot of time to narrate, because every time I've gotten around to narrating, I've realized how bloody tired I sound, and it's not nice to hear. So I basically wake up and record this as one of the first things after my coffee, to make sure I sound enthusiastic and lively, because the hardest part of making these videos is not the designing, it is the speaking. I'm quite a reclusive person, and I don't really like to speak very much, except for, you know, people I know well, and speaking into a microphone has been quite difficult, because I'm quite perfectionist about it, and I don't like hearing ums and ahs from myself or when I'm listening to other people's videos. And what I've noticed is that the people who make the best videos, they really try to reduce their ums and ahs, and even if they don't, I mean, at least they watch it. And I think, you know, it's not nice to hear very much, and I try to not do it very much. But on my better days, when I am more awake, I don't say it as much, and in days where I'm really struggling to think of things to say, I say it all the time, and it doesn't sound very professional. So I'm working on the roof right now, and I tried to make it look a bit rickety and a bit fallen in, and not perfect, and that's why you see some holes and this and that. I think I might come in at the end and make it even less perfect if I can. But it's very, I like this panel a lot. It's just I'm worried about overusing too many objects. A lot of people might think that some of the problems I encounter are from using too many objects, and it's very possible they are. But in my last park it didn't make a lot of sense, because I'm using just as much overlapping in this park as I did in my last park, and that, as we all know, went the way of the dodo. So I don't think it is that. I don't think it is that. What else can I talk about? Well, that's basically what I've been doing in this episode, preparing it for the next part, and I'm still thinking of ideas to make in my next part of this ride, which is the roller coaster aspect. There will be some rooms underground, some sort of hell pit-like area, and a sort of runaway mine sort of feeling from it. Maybe that's what I'm going for, sort of a runaway mine train like experience. And if you guys can think of any cool things that I can put into the ride, don't hesitate to suggest them to me, because that is always the most difficult part for me, is thinking of making the ride unique and interesting. Because there's not a lot of there's a lot of special effects. There's not a lot of stuff that is possible to be implemented anymore in a sort of convincing way. I'm thinking of making a whole room of those soldier guys burning, because they look a bit different when they're engulfed in flames. Maybe it's something like that, and maybe a sort of room that's an explosion. I'm still in the conceptual part of this, and I don't quite know where to go. I did try to make this building itself look a bit like a sort of schoolhouse, like a Victorian schoolhouse. They do remind me of these old Victorian boarding schools where they went and shoved the aristocracy children before they went and ruined the country, or ruled the country, not ruined the country, ruled the country. Well, they might have ruined the country as well, with the way things are going in England. It seems that way, doesn't it? I digress. I'm continuing to talk about this thing, not any other thing. This is a Planet Coaster channel, so I'm going to continue only talking about Planet Coaster related things. So yes, this schoolhouse is based on a sort of schoolhouse with a tower. That's why there are bells at the top to ring when lunch is ready. I don't know what their general plans were when they created these sort of hospitals for the mentally ill. They're very much based on schools, I think. Maybe a bit more horrible than schools. I mean, it's built on this big stone base, and I'm just thinking that this base has, like, I don't know, some horrible death tunnels underground that would, like, there were two. One was for the normal deaths that they didn't hide, and the other one was I don't know, it was like a tunnel that went into hell. I don't know, maybe the devil showed up one day. I'm obsessed with, like, hell. Even though it's really not that it's not, everything's not about hell, Richard. But in my last build it was about hell, so maybe not hell, but they made a deal with some demon or some mad scientist, and he would have another tunnel built for him where he had bodies to experiment on, or something like that. I think that sounds incredibly disturbing, but that's something I would go. I don't know, something like that. But the base of this house is also incredibly big, and leads on in a maze-like way, like a labyrinth. Maybe they built a labyrinth underneath it, and that was a sort of way to force some of the people who tried to escape. They would escape through the basement, and they would get lost in the labyrinth, and there was some evil thing in the labyrinth. Something like this. I don't know, but maybe the roller coaster can ride into some parts of the labyrinth, something like that. But I mean, yeah, these kind of things. If you like that idea, let me know. And I think I have spoken for long enough, and I hope I've sounded enthusiastic and not too tired in this episode, because I think I'm getting sick. But don't worry, because I will still be making Planet Coaster videos, and I will see you in part 5, where I hopefully move on to the 80s extension, like the modern extension of the building. Bye for now. Wow, you must be awesome because you watched all the video, and if you want to see more, click in one of these boxes, and if you want to subscribe, do that, and I'll see you soon!